Welcome to another fruitful discussion with Mrs. M. So for today, we'll have the part 2 discussion on Lea Ii, Law Enforcement Organization and Administration. So now let's talk about theories of police service. So the first theory is home rule theory. So policemen are regarded as servants of the community who rely for the efficiency of their functions upon the express needs of the people. So policemen are civil servants whose key duty is the preservation of public peace and security. So based on the stipulated information on the home rule theory, it will give us an idea that the police officer's main function under this home rule theory is that they need to serve the public. They need to make sure that the public are safe. But we need to remember as well that serving the people does not mean standing alone or observing omnipresence. Okay? Performing patrol, no. Home rule theory also explains the need to develop, the need to intensify and strengthen the police community relation. So when you say police community relation, okay, police community relation is a slowly evolving policing system that is gaining recognition internationally. So as you can see, police community relation is not only observed by the PNP organization but other law enforcement agencies also by the neighboring countries or the neighboring states. It is also mentioned here that it is a policing system that can be equated with diplomacy such that even the subjects of policing action view the system as the most acceptable form of police community interaction. To ferret out crimes. When you say ferret, it means to hide, to hunt. Okay? So, to do some public safety related police work or just carry out plain maintenance of peace and order. So, as you can see in here, our police community relation, its main purpose is not only to have an interaction with the public, okay, to get the cooperation of the public, but our police community relation is also responsible in making sure that in their presence, okay, their strong foundation in the community, it will help somehow diminish or minimize the existence of crime. As what they usually say, the mouse will play if the cat is away. So here is a video of how a home rule theory is being presented. Please enjoy.
Policemen are supposed to protect the people. I doubt if they really protect the people.
Base na rin sa mga narinig ko kasi, tsaka sa nakita ko, parang hindi sila gano'n visible, kaya marami rin yung crime.
Kahit sabihin namin na kami ay matuwid na pulis, kami ay nagtatrabaho lang kami ng maayos, pero may mga kasama kami na hindi gumagawa ng maganda. So hanggat maaari, bumabawi naman kami on that part.
At kailangan ko ng tulong, tumutulong lang sila. Like yung pagtuwid ko na lang sa, halimbawa, sa karsada, tumutulong sila, tapos pag tatanong ako ng direction, kung ano, saan ba yung lugar na yon, sinasabi naman ng tama.
Pulisan kasi kailangan mapalapit sa komunidad dahil una-una hindi lang responsibilidad ng pulis na lumutas sa isang krimen. Responsibilidad din to ng mamamayan. Kailangan i-report nila sa amin yung mga kanahinalang tao dun sa komunidad kasi mas sila yung nakakalam.
Ang Philippine National Police o PNP ay nabuo taong 1990 bilang pagtupad sa Section 6, Article 16 ng 1987 Constitution. Ang kapulisan ay may mandatong panatilihin ang kaayusan at kapayapaan ng bawat lugar sa bansa at siguruhin ang kaligtasan ng bawat mamamayan. Higit pa dito, sila rin ay naatasan na tulungan ang lokal na pamahalaan, sa epektibong pagbibigay ng serbisyo sa kanilang nasasakupan. Sa patuloy na pagpapabuti ng serbisyo ng PNP sa mga mamamayang Pilipino, minimithi nitong maging isang community and service-oriented agency kung saan ang mga pulis ay may magandang relasyon at kooperasyon sa lokal na pamahalaan at sa mga miyembro ng komunidad. Bilang parte ng isang komunidad, layon din ng kapulisan na makipagbahagi na ng pag-aari, lakas paggawa at iba pa tungo sa kaunlaran. Upang ito ay maisakatuparan, ipinakikilala ang Community and Service-Oriented Policing System o CSOP.
Meron tayong section of branch patungkol yan na dapat ang pulis ay nandyan siya palagi sa komunidad para may balik ko yung tiwala. Kasi the mere presence of police sa lansangan, ang komunidad ay nagkakaroon sila ng tiwala, ugnayan, para magkaroon sila ng direct contact within the community.
Nakapaloob sa CSOP ang pagkakaroon ng tungkulin ng lokal na pamahalaan at miyembro ng komunidad upang maging mas maagap at aktibo ang pagkilala at pagsugpo ng mga problema na kinakaharap nito. Mula pagpaplano hanggang sa implementasyon ng iba't ibang gawain, parte nito ang pagsasagawa ng mga konsultasyon at pakikipag-ugnayan sa komunidad at ang pagiging bukas ng tanggapan ng pulisya sa pagdinig ng mga hinaing ng mga mamamayan. Malaking bahagi din ng sistemang ito ang pagbabago ng pananaw ng bawat isa sa mga pulis. Nakapaloob dito ang hangarin na mapalapit ang loob ng mga tao sa kapulisan at magkaroon ng pagtitiwala sa isa't isa. Higit sa tradisyonal na tungkulin ng pulis sa komunidad, nilalayo nitong ang bawat isa ay maging aktibong lider ng pamayanan. Isa itong pamamaraan upang mapanindigan ang kanilang ikatlong mandato na nakasaad sa batas na mas maging bukas at sensitibo sa mga pangangailangan ng mga mamamayan na kanilang nasasakupan.
Lalo po kaming napalapit ngayon sa mga community, kumbaga madali po nakakagaanan po namin sa ng loob na madali po nilang na-i-open kung ano po yung kanilang problema. Hindi po sila nag-hesitate na ilapit sa amin o idulog kung ano ang kanilang hinaing o yung problema nila sa lugar nila. Kung may mga concern po sila sa kabarangay nila, so mas madali po namin na-approach sila dahil panatag po ang loob nila sa kapulisan natin.
Napansin namin bumaba ang crime rate. Karamihan ng impormasyon po is nanggagaling sa community. Kumbaga sila na po yung mismo nagbibigay sa amin ng information kung may nalalaman ba sila sa mga nangyayaring krimen. So nakatulong po yun para masolve yung mga crimes na nangyayari. Nakikita ko ma'am unti-unti naman pong bumabalik yung tiwala ng community sa mga kapulisan.
There's bad guys anywhere in the world, but the bad guys maybe are afraid because of the presence of the police here. This problem will be even more solved than it is right now. Here in Puerto, you can move freely all around. There's no problem so far. Hopefully that will stay like that.
Ang pagtatagumpay ng pagpapalaganap at pagsasagawa ng community and service-oriented policing ay nakasalalay sa pagyakap at pagsasabuhay ng kapulisan, ng lokal na pamahalaan at ng mga mamamayan sa prinsipyong ito. Sa pamamagitan ng community and service-oriented policing, tulong-tulong tayo sa pagpapanatili ng kaayusan at kapayapaan tungo sa sosyo-ekonomikong pag-unlad ng bawat komunidad.
Alright, so as you can see in there that our police community relation as part of the measures that is being utilized or what's this, a program that is being utilized under the home rule theory is very important. Important in a sense that it does not only gain the trust of the people, it does not only get the sympathy and cooperation of the people, but at the same time, as emphasized on the video, that it also helps in somehow reducing the crime rate, no, suppressing the occurrence of a crime. Why? Because if there is a strong connection, if there is a cooperation and trust of the community towards our law enforcers, what will happen is that they would disclose information that they know. Okay, disclose, for example, who are these people who are selling drugs, people who committed rape, people who committed theft. So they are willing to divulge or disclose information that they know that they know that it is very essential in, of course, in the administration of justice. So another theory of police service is we do have the Continental theory. If our home rule theory explains that our policemen are servants of the community, meaning to say they need to serve the people by protecting the people, by making sure that there is peace, tranquility, that there is order in the society. That is the job of the policemen under the home rule theory. However, on a different context, or in contrast with the home rule theory, our Continental theory regards policemen as servants of the state. Again, servants of the state or higher persons in the society, or also servants of the higher authorities. Another, the police have no share or have neither little participation with the duties nor connection with the police organization. So, a very good example for this Continental theory are the Royal Guards. So, I will show you a very short clip so that you will have a better understanding on how a policeman work if it is embracing a Continental theory.
Queen Elizabeth II is the longest-serving British monarch and is the current longest-serving monarch in the world. Since she took the throne in 1952, much has changed in the UK. You could say the British people are not, on the whole, as enamored with the royal family as they were when she took the throne. But despite polls in 2018 revealing that 2/3 of the British public were not interested in the royal wedding, it seems for the most part people are not interested in getting rid of their royals. We can only find one instance when someone planned to take out the Queen, and that was only revealed years later when declassified spy papers told us a New Zealand teenager had planned to do just that in 1981. So what do the Queen's Guard do with themselves all day? Welcome to this episode of the Infographic Show. What does the Queen's Guard actually do? If you saw our show titled How Much Protection Does the Royal Family Get?, you'll know that the royal family has around-the-clock protection, and that comes in many forms. We're not just talking about the main royals that we all know, but the many other members of this family. The Queen might be supported by her guards, but you have other outfits such as Scotland Yard's Royalty and Specialist Protection Service, also offering armed protection when she's at home and when she goes on the road. While it seems the royals don't have many enemies, who knows if someone is willing to spend years in prison for their 5 minutes of fame. That's why when you see her driving down the street, she'll be surrounded by an armed and very skilled special escort group. So with this in mind, does she really need a Queen's Guard? First of all, you all likely know who we're talking about when we say the Queen's Guard, since you've all seen pictures of these men that wear those large furry hats and dress in red and black. These people are not just for show, however, and they fill a role in protecting the Queen. The Guard is made up of infantry and cavalry soldiers, and they work in what's called the Household Division. That means you'll find them doing their duty at Buckingham Palace, St. James Palace, Windsor Castle, and some other places. One source tells us that the Queen spends most of her time at Buckingham Palace, although she goes to Windsor Castle on most weekends, visits Balmoral Castle in Scotland for long periods of time, and for Christmas often visits Sandringham House in Norfolk. We're told that the Queen's Guard is mainly split into two parts, and those two parts will be posted either at Buckingham Palace or St. James Palace. When the Queen is staying at Buckingham Palace, there are usually 3 officers working there as well as 40 other ranks. There will also be 4 sentries at the palace. They work night and day, sometimes staying in one spot, while others will walk around the grounds. The Foot Guards might be part of the Grenadier Guards, the Scots Guards, the Irish Guards, the Welsh Guards, or the Coldstream Guards. If you visit Buckingham Palace at the right time, you might actually see the changing of the guard. Okay, so now we should ask if these guys ever have any trouble. In the past, the guards did have a few run-ins with a disgruntled public, but for the most part in modern times, they haven't really been tested. Perhaps the biggest case, and some blushes for the guards, was when a man called Michael Fagan managed to get past them in 1982, and believe it or not, get into the Queen's bedroom. This was a huge thing back in the day. Some sources, maybe not that reliable, say that Fagan only did it because he had been in the pub with his friends and he had bet them £5 that he could get into the Queen's bedroom. He managed to scale a wall, climb up a drain pipe, and then it said by sheer luck, he ended up on the balcony outside the right bedroom. There are, after all, many bedrooms in Buckingham Palace. Stories differ as to what happened next, with some reports saying the Queen was startled and Fagan said to her, "Relax, sister, you don't have to worry, I'm Irish." We doubt the veracity of the source, though. Other reports say he just left the room and was subsequently apprehended by police, who probably should have been on the scene sooner. He was not charged for trespassing, but for stealing some royal wine. In the end, he was sent to a psychiatric hospital. After hearing this, you might be wondering when the Queen's Guard were, but the Queen's Guards were already beaten as they remained outside the palace. The fault was theirs, but also the police officer that was supposed to be guarding the room. The sentry job sounds kind of boring, as they just stand there for long periods of time. We're told that they have the order, you may not eat, sleep, smoke, stand easy, sit, or lie down during your tour of duty. In a 2-hour period every 10 minutes, they will pace back and forth where they are stationed. This can be amusing for tourists as the sentries look so serious. Tourists in the past have gotten in the way of the sentry, and if that happened, he would shout, "Make way for the Queen's Guard." He might also shout, "Stand back from the Queen's Guard." And if that isn't heeded, then he's forced to point his rifle at you. Unfortunately, some members of the public, mostly tourists, still get in these guards' way, and so their posts have largely been removed from where they could be interfered with. In an interview, one guard said that being tormented by tourists was starting to take its toll, and he was glad their posts were now in a place where the public couldn't get too close.
So pure, so delicious. San Miguel del Mar tuna. No extenders.
Alright, so as you can see, there is really a big difference between, there is, as what I've said, there is really a big difference between a home rule theory and a continental theory. Asa nagsugod ilang diferensya. Ang ilahang main difference is the person they are serving to. Again, as what I have mentioned earlier, when you say home rule theory, it means that their main responsibility is to serve the community, to serve the people. While the continental theory, their main objective is to serve the state, to serve the higher authorities, and in other countries, to serve the queen. Alright? In addition, with our home rule theory, is that it's not only through the conduct of a police-community relation, which is the respond of a policing, community-oriented policing. But you need to understand that in the home rule theory, police also conducts raids, surveillance, bypass operations, the conduct of myriads of checkpoints. So these are just some of the responsibilities, activities conducted by our law enforcers under the home rule theory. So next we'll have the various concept of police service. Alright? So these concepts are utilized as standard for determining whether the police or law enforcers are effective and efficient at their job or not. So under the old concept, police service gives the impression of being merely a suppressive machinery. So this philosophy advocates that the measurement of police competence is the increasing number of arrests, throwing offenders in the detention facilities rather than trying to prevent them from committing a crime. So what does this mean? That in the old concept, The conduct of patrol, whether it is in a form of foot patrol, bicycle patrol, horse patrol, helicopter patrol, foot patrol, beat patrol, okay, is not really observed. It's not really observed. Why? Because the job of the law enforcers are merely, again, suppressive. They only react if a crime is already committed. Nganong ingon ana man ang ilahang observance? Simply because the police under the old concept are considered to be effective if there is an increasing number of arrests. Again, if there is an increasing number of arrests. That is under the old concept. Meanwhile, our modern concept is totally different with the old concept. Unsa may kalainan niya? Regards police as the first line of defense of the criminal justice system, an organ of crime prevention. So police efficiency is measured by the decreasing number of crimes, broadens the police activities to cater the social services, and has for its mission the welfare of the individual as well as that of the community in general. So as you can see, dako kayo kalainan ang old between the modern concept. If the old says that the law enforcement agencies are said to be effective if dagkan silang ma-arrest, your modern concept says here that the law enforcement agency, for example, the PNP organization, is believed to be effective in their job. Believed to be effective in their job if mo decrease ang ilahang crime rate. Okay? If mo decrease ang ilahang crime rate. So, the question is, based on the various concepts of police service, okay? So, this is your assignment. Alright, so for your assignment, very easy lang, 2 questions. First, what concept of police service is being utilized and observed by the PNP organization? So, I forgot to write why. So, again, you provide what concept, then you provide justification. When I say justification, you give factual examples. Okay? Another question, the second assignment is police community relation properly implemented in your locality? Yes or no? Explain your answer. So please make sure to write your answer in the comment sections. Alright? Do not forget, I'll be reading your answers.